The Adventures of Reginald Stinkbottom, written and illustrated by Sophia J. Ferguson. Reginald Stinkbottom lived in a house with his grandma, 3 squirrels, 2 cats, and a mouse. He loved to eat beans, 8 helpings a day. "They're my favourite," he shouted. "I don't care what you say." Now, what the problem with eating huge platefuls of beans is the wind they produce, and you know what that means. It means that there's gas inside Reginald's tummy, and when it comes out, the smell isn't funny. In Reginald's case, it's much worse than you think, for it really does make a terrible stink. Well, Reginald's grandma got sick of the smell. It grew stronger and stronger and made her unwell. "I can't live here," she cried, "with this terrible pong." So she packed her suitcase and flew to Hong Kong. Reginald cried 6 days in a row. "Oh, Grandma," he sobbed, "wherever did you go?" He knew he should stop eating beans, but he couldn't. He thought about stopping, but he knew that he wouldn't. "I loved them so much. The smell here is fine. Now instead of 8 helpings, it's gone up. He's gone up to 9. Well, the smell in the house became more and more terrible. The animals living there found it unbearable. 3 squirrels, 2 cats, not forgetting the mouse, who usually loved being in Reginald's house. They packed their bags. They could take it no more. Not a single goodbye. They just slammed the front door. "Well, the smell is too much," they complained as they went. "We're off to the country to live in a tent." Poor Reginald now was completely alone. He was desperate, lonely, with no one at home. "Does the wing from my bottom smell really that bad? How could they leave me and make me so sad? I bet they won't bother to write me a letter. I'll have some more beans. That should make me feel better." So he slurped down a dollop the usual way, and soon he was scoffing 12 helpings a day. So Reginald's life wasn't going too well. Even the neighbours were leaving because of the smell. But then something happened right out of the blue. A major event. It was something quite new. It all started one day as he walked to the shop, when his bottom let out an incredible pop. The force of the blast blew him into the sky. He came down the flood with a thud and started to cry. In someone's garden, he had a crash landing, and when he turned round, a sweet lady was standing. She was dressed in high heels, a pink woolly sweater, and instantly Reg knew things would get better. "My surname is Windy Pants. How do you do?" "My first name is Gertrude. That's Gertie to you. You seem to have had the most terrible fright. You must come inside. Are you feeling all right? Do you come into my house and make yourself comfortable?" When she opened the door, Reg saw something incredible all over her house. He saw tins of baked beans. Reg thought to himself, "She's the girl of my dreams." Well, Gertie loved beans. She was simply unstoppable, and the wind from her bottom was frankly phenomenal. So Reggie and Gertie grew terribly fond. It seems that they shared an extraordinary bond. But guess who arrived back at Reginald's house? Yes, Grandma, the squirrels, the cats, and the mouse. "I've missed you," cried Grandma. "I don't care if you pong. I've been desperately homesick. I hated Hong Kong. The animals had been too terribly miserable. Life in a tent had been very uncomfortable." So they settled back into Reginald's home. But Reggie had something to tell them this time. "While you were away, something happened to me. I made a new friend. She's called Gertie. You see, Gertie loves beans. She breaks wind just like me. We have so much in common. I think you'll agree. Gertie and I share the same vision, and we've come to a very important decision. I've decided to move to Gertie's abode. She lives around the corner just off the main road. You can visit us on Tuesdays and Fridays for dinner. I think you'll agree this solution's a winner. Well, Grandma appeared to rather relieve. The animals, too, were secretly relieved. So Grandmother Squirrels, the cats and the mouse, get to live in a sweet smelling house, but they love going to dinner at Reggie and Gertie's on Tuesdays and Fridays for beans at 6:30. And now Reginald has the happiest life. It's all thanks to Gertie. She'll soon be his wife. The best part of all is that she thinks it's funny when Reginald squeezes the wind from his tummy. The end.